Hello everyone, very good morning and welcome to the OData Made Easy course. And in today's session, we are going to discuss with entity type, entity sets, and we'll be also creating one project. And on top of that project, we are going to learn about the CRUD operation. So for different CRUD operation, we are having the different URI notation. So those we are going to see in a detail. But before going ahead, let's have a quick recap what we have done in our last class so that it will be easy for us to connect. So in last class, we have seen what is OData. Then we have seen that before NetWeaver 7.40, GW underscore core plus IW underscore FND plus IW underscore WEP. These were three components for gateway server. Now after 7.40, GW underscore SAP underscore GW IFND is the so here you can see uh, before 7.30 and before 7.40 these two were only there. Okay, and after 7.40 we are having SAP underscore GW FND somewhere I would have written. So here, right, more than 7.40 SAP underscore GW FND. This is the single component only required to be installed in order to enable the gateway services. Okay. Also, we have seen there are two types of scenario, embedded scenario and the central hub scenario. In central hub scenario, your gateway is separated from your SAP application, right? Like this is the central hub scenario. Okay. And in embedded scenario, you are having this, all your application is going to be attached with a gateway. Okay. So here you don't have a much maintenance cost in case if you have the single application, but if you have the multiple application like ECC, CRM and SCM, then in that case this is going to be the best one. So all those things we have seen. Also we have seen this OData protocol is based upon the REST concept, based upon the REST protocol. Okay, so OData is nothing but it's following the architecture of, it's following the concept of, it's following the rules of REST. REST is nowadays most preferred protocol over the SOAP. Basically, there are two types of protocol in world of web services, right? So when we talk about the web services, that means from the browser if you want to access your server side data, right? So one thing you should know, this OData is not specific to SAP only. It can be this is just a concept. OData can be created in Java application also, in .NET application also, in Node.js application also. So different in different languages also this OData can be created. Here because we are dealing with SAP, we are creating OData in ABAP language. Okay, so OData is based upon the REST services, and SOAP is the earlier one. This is the old, and nowadays it's getting a little kind of obsolete. However, it is having its own advantage, and I don't think so it's going to be so soon so obsolete. People now also use this one, but this is most preferred. Okay, we have seen the difference between SOAP and REST. This is very important. You should know from last class. All this architecture and all is not that much important. The most important point was this one, VVI point. So you must remember this one. Okay. Architecture and all, just for your understanding, from interview point of view, from your understanding point of view, from the importance point of view, This particular slides is the most important one from the yesterday class. Difference between SOAP and REST. Difference between SOAP and REST. So what I have done, you could remember it in more for longer. What I have done, I have put the graphical representation. We all love graphics, right? We all love graphics. So that keeping that things in mind, I have prepared some slides. You know, this is for the REST protocol. You can see that the person is riding on the horse, right? So this is so simple. On the same horse this person is riding, right? So this can you tell me what kind of protocol it is representing, right? This is the REST protocol. So simple, right? On the same postcard you have the address as well as content, right? On the same horse, right, you have the person, destination, everything on the same thing. It's so simple, right? So that's why it's known as the lightweight protocol. Also here you can see that this horse is over there, person is sitting over here, and this is a big cart, right? So this is like a address, this is like a, this is a carrier, and this is like someone who is carrying, right? So this is a SOAP protocol. This is representing a SOAP protocol, and this horse is represented by the HTTP, right? This is the protocol. This horse is represented by the HTTP over here, and this person is getting carried, right? So this you can understand as a content. Okay, so content you are putting with the help of HTTP over here on the horse, right? And here content you are putting, this person you are putting in what? In envelope, right? And this is the protocol, right? So this is one example. Another example we have seen over here, like this is very good, right? The one postcard over here and inside this envelope. So from the security point of view, suppose if you have to send some love letter kind of thing, right? So here you can see that you will not be able to send on what? On the postcard, right? You will require envelope for the security purpose, so that your content could not be read by other. So keeping that things in mind, so that you will be able to remember for longer, I have prepared this example, the postcard. However, yesterday also we have discussed, so you can easily able to remember over here, right? So REST is represented by postcard, on which the content and address is going to be at the same place, whereas in SOAP, your content is going to be inside the envelope, right? So this is, so SOAP is going to be more secured, right? And REST is going to be not that much secured. However, you will have to use another mechanism in order to make it secure. This is lightweight. So if you can remember these two photo, which is very easy to remember, right? You will be able to understand the differences, right? Another graphical representation over here, you can see the same thing, just in form of graphics. You can just go once, right? And here one interesting things about the REST protocol. Here you can see that this particular, where does the industry stands. SAP UI5 technology, like here the 73%, here the 18%, right? And JavaScript 6%, XML 3%. So here the rest is going to have the 73%. So you can see that most of the time, like the most means most organization, like at most places, 73% places the REST protocol is getting used, right? Now let's go and discuss about the entity types, right? Let's go and discuss about the entity types. What is this entity type, right? What is this entity type? So here, when we are going to discuss about the entity type, we have to understand about the entity. Okay, we have to first understand about entity, then we will be understanding about the entity type and then entity sets, right? So what is entity first, and then we will go for entity type. See, entity is nothing but it is real time existence, something which is existing in real time. Okay, so it is having the real time existence. It is having the real time existence. So something which is having the real time existence. For example, if we talk about an employee, right, this is having the real time existence. If you talk about the purchase order, right, purchase order document, so this document also exists in real time. Similarly, if you talk about the student, this student also, whatever you can, a person, right, this is having a real time existence. However, if you talk about the humanity, right, this is abstract. Humanity is abstract. Similarly, you know you can have like happiness, right, happiness. So these all are abstract. This is not having, means you can just feel it, but it is not having the real time existence, right? So this cannot be your entity. However, I can mark just in red. However, this can be your, this can be your what? This can be your uh, okay, I'm recording. Fine. I thought that I'm not recording. Okay, so employee purchase order document. So this is having, because the real time existence, this is your entity type. Entity. This is your entity. Now, what is entity type? Okay. Now, what is entity type? So when we talk about the entity type, means what? This is your entity. This is your entity, and entity type. That means the type of entity, a structure of entity, right? Entity type is nothing but entity type is nothing but a structure of entity. Okay, entity type is nothing but a structure of entity. That means what are the properties with the entity is having, right? So when you are talking about entity type, that means you are talking about their properties, their specification. Okay, and here, it's a, you can also tell about, it's a blueprint for, it is a blueprint for entity. It's a blueprint for entity. And now when we talk about the entity set entity set. So see here, so example, we can have the example here. For the entity type, we can have example. So if we talk about you know a student, let's suppose the student. So in terms of a student entity, a student can have the name, right? A student can have the age. A student can have what? A student can have in what course he has enrolled for, right? He can have the date of birth, right? So these all are forming the tuples. These all are forming what? These all are forming the tuples. Okay, these all are forming the tuples. Fine. So name, age, course, date of birth, and forming the tuples here you can see. Now these tuples is nothing but what? Your entity type. This tuple is nothing but your entity type. Now entity sets. If you have multiple student, right? This is this is this is the this is the blueprint for your student information, right? This is blueprint for your student information. Now here in the entity set, you can have, you know, so you can have maybe here Ashwarya, right? Then some age, maybe 32, then course, OData, right? Date of birth, something here, 0103 19990, something like that. We are just writing it over here. Similarly, Radha here 35, O data, and some date, right? So here you can see that the set of instances of this entity type we are having over here, set of instances of this entity type. So this is going to be your entity set. Let's go into the system and create this. Come over here, and the transaction to create a OData survey is nothing but SEGW. What is the T code? SEGW. This is the T code where you can go and create the a project. Okay, so whenever we have to develop a OData service, we create a project. Where we go to the transaction ACGW, and from here we can create a project. So press enter and click on this create button and give the name of the project. Okay, so Z OData, this is class 2. Okay, so here OData demo and local object. Just save it, check the syntax. There is no problem at this point of time. However, I have not created anything over here, right? You can see that nothing I have created. And now right click and then click on this create and click on this entity type. Okay, let's go and create a simple entity type over here. I want to get the information of all the sales order. Okay, I want to get the information of all the sales order. So I'm going to create the entity type over here, sales order. Click on this, and here you can see that optional, it is telling create related entity set. So if you have to, I will show you step by step over here. Click on this create button first. I have not checked that particular entity set checkbox, and that's why entity set is now not created, right? Now here go and add the property. This is your entity type, and now I'm going to add the property. So in order to add the property, what we can do, slash o AC11, go to the table VBAK, right? BBAK is the table for sales order, right? BBAK is the table for sales order. And from here we can copy using Control Y. Let's have some field from here, Control C, and then we can come and click on this create button. So just it looks like didn't get copied. Let me copy once again. Yeah, now this is fine. And here you can see that we have the EDM type. So here, let's have a quick check on the data type. Here we have the ERDT. Here, the character data type. This is the date. This is the time. This is the character. So see, there are two types of data type in ABAP basically. One is numeric and another is non-numeric. Under non-numeric, CNDT comes, right? CNDT, character, numeric, date, and times, right? So here, under all these count, all these will come under the non-numeric, date, times, right? Here, if you just come and see here, this is for the date time, right? Here, if you just observe, there is no date, there is no time together, date and time with values. This is date and time with value, date and time together. This will be used for the time stamp. Okay. So whatever this is, date, time, numeric character or character, everything you can put it in this string, edm.string. Here you can give to say here, everything I'm going to give as a edm.string. Give it over here, give it over here, give it over here, give it. Okay. Press enter, just save it, check the syntax. And here you can see the data model inconsistency. It's telling must define at least one key property. So whenever we are creating the entity type, it must have at least one key. So this is the sales order. So I'm marking VBELN as the what? As one property. I'm marking VBELN as a one property, right? EDM.string over here. Now you can see that this is the create, update, sortable, nullable, filterable. At this point of time, I'm not going to do anything, right? The meaning of this is just for the purpose of metadata. This is just for the purpose of metadata. Okay. So if you want, if you want to create a new sales order, you are supposed to mark in that case. Even if you don't mark, there is no issue, it will create, but you are not supplying the correct information. That is the point over here. You are not supplying the correct information. Okay. So if you are going to create, you are supposed to, you are supposed to mark that you are creating this one. If you want to sort on this particular field, you have to mark, you have to select this one, sortable, right? You have to, if you want, when you are creating, right? When you are creating, you must have to not select this nullable, because VBELN is your create, when you are going to create the VBELN, right? It must not be empty, right? And if you want to, uh, get the VBELN, right? That means the sales order, it must be, if you want to filter the value, you have to give this one. However, this is not mandatory, right? This is not mandatory. This is just for your metadata information. Nullable also you can think like this, if generally what happens that if there is no value, let's suppose if there is no value for any of these field, right? Then sometimes it will return the error. So in that case, what you can do that you can select that even if it is null, just get me back. Okay. However, these are not mandatory, these are not mandatory to select. If you want to select, you can click on this and everything will be selected. So here, just come over here, select everything. So here actually we have to select everything and then select everything. Okay. And similarly, like if you want to, remove, you can remove from here by selecting all these things. Okay. So for this VBELN, I can update at this point of time. I can update. So just I'm going to give this update. I want to sort. I am just going to give this. Okay. So just these two basic property I have selected. However, this also we can ignore. There is no problem. But whatever you are going to do, it's better to select that one. Fine. So the entity type we have created, we have created the property also. Now check the syntax over here and click on the save button. Okay. Check the syntax and activate this one. Here you can see that when I'm let's go once again. You have to select this project or any of the artifact of this project, and then here generate a runtime object. When you click over here, you can see that how it's coming. ZCL OData class 2 MPC extension, right? MPC, DPC extension, DPC, then technical model name. Okay, let me copy this. And here I will just put it. Okay. And here I will explain you. So see, if you observe, this particular name, ZCL, ZOData class 2 MPC extension, ZCL OData class 2 MPC. So these are the different classes going to be created when we are generating the services. One is your what? The first one is the ZCL MPC extension, right? This extension is inheriting from this class, ZCL MPC class. Okay, and between this ZCL and MPC, you will have to give the name of your project. So the name of the project was OData class 2. So this is the naming convention. Okay, ZCL underscore OData underscore class 2 underscore MPC, and here OData underscore class 2. Here also the same thing. Here only MPC extension. This is the base class, and this is the derived class, subclass. Okay, so whenever we have to write some code, at the metadata level, here we are going to write the code. But here very less we are going to write the code. In case of deep insert and all, we will be writing the code. Or if you want to uh, supply some extra metadata information, in that case we'll be writing the code. We are going to see in detail, nothing to worry. ZCL underscore OData underscore class 2 underscore DPC. This is very important. The data provider class. DPC stands for data provider class, right? DPC underscore extension. Okay, DPC underscore extension, right? You can see that DPC underscore MPC. These are the, so this in case of DPC, this is the base class, and from this base class, this is the class, that means the subclass which is derived from this. So let's represent in this way in the object oriented notation, and here also I can see, right? So there are 4 classes gets generated. So when you create the project and generate, right, and generate the artifacts, 4 classes are generated, right? 4 classes are generated here. All the 4 classes I have mentioned. Apart from that, there are 2 more stuff gets generated. What is that? The technical model name, ZOData class 2 underscore model, and the technical service name. This service name is going to be again very important. What's the technical service name generated? This one. This is the technical service name. This is the technical service name. What is the significance of this? This is the service actually we're going to expose to the third party application. Okay, this is the technical service name. This is going to be exposed to the third party application. Let's go and see once again now. Click on this OK button. Okay, something. Oh, here, just write this one. This name you can change also, if you want to change this name. However, it is not recommended, it is not recommended. Let it be like this. Let's have the standard naming convention over here. Okay, click on this OK button. Click on this local object. And now check the syntax, and here click on this activate button. It's getting it. You can see that it got, it's not actually I'm repeatedly telling activate. Actually, it's the generate runtime object button, but what it will do, it will create and activate both. It will generate and activate both the things. It will do simultaneously. And here one thing you can see that the model provider base class MPC, then DPC extension, and the DPC. These are the class created and implemented successfully, right? So let's go and see the class. See here the class. From here also you can go, or you can go from the AC24. So there are various ways through which you can go. Click on this runtime artifacts, and you can see that the various classes which has been generated over here is, right, DPC extension, MPC extension, right? You can double click over here. Again, you can double click and it will take you to the DPC extension. Okay, so here we are on the DPC extension, right? So all the custom logic, all the custom logic to fetch the data, to create the records, to get the data, this is where this is the most important. DPC extension is going to be the most important class for us. Which class? DPC extension class. Once again, I repeat, DPC extension is the most important class where we are going to write the logic. Okay, DPC extension is the most important class where we are going to write the logic. Okay, DPC extension is the most important class where we are going to write the logic. So remember, this class is the important one. Okay, DPC extension, this is generated by the system, this also generated by the system, but the implementation where we are going to do in the DPC extension. Come over here, and I want to fetch a single record. I want to do, I want to fetch a single record. So I have to write the logic somewhere. Here you can see, can I write here, can I write anywhere the logic? Here you can see that all these are the standard method. From where these methods are coming actually? All these methods are coming from its super classes, because you can see that these are in blue color, right? These all are in blue color. The meaning of blue color means these are not implemented at this point of time. So if it is not implemented, no one defined over here, from where it is coming? It's coming from its super class. Yeah, it's coming from its super class. You can see that this is your super class. In the super class was DPC. Just we have seen that this is the super class, right? So from the super class in the DPC, all these are present over here, right? All those methods. Here also you can see that these are in blue, right? Here these are the one which is the implemented one, right? These are the one which is the implemented one. Okay, see here, get entity set, right? Then here we are having the update entity, then the get generation strategy. All these are the implemented one, whichever in black, that means here it is implemented. But here you can again see that these all are, means the maximum are there in the blue. So again these are not implemented over here, but from where it is coming, these are again are coming from its own superclass. So you can double click over here and you can see it's a super class. Again you can see here it's a super class. Now this is the final super class. There is no super class on top of that. This is abstract class, and in this you can see that these are the method. This is the method in this abstract class where, you know, all these methods are, you can see this, all these methods are here. If you double click over here, maybe some of the method will be implemented. You can see that these methods are implemented, right? Because it's in black, that means it is implemented, right? So in the abstract class, this method is implemented. Some of the method might, at least one method must not be implemented. If this is, what's the definition of abstract class? At least one method must not be implemented. So any one of the method, certainly it will be here which not be implemented. Okay, so just I'm trying to find out. So that's the definition of abstract class. But here, you know, here it looks like all are implemented. But if all are implemented, you know, the definition of abstract class is at least one of the methods should be should not be implemented, right? But in ABAP, actually, what I have seen, even you can implement all the methods, and here you can select abstract, you know, that is possible. So in ABAP, it behaves little differently in the abstract class concept. So what you can do, you know, if you want to have the better concept, you can create one abstract class and you can try creating one more, you can try creating the implementation, and you can see that you will be able to create the implementation. But generally the definition of abstract class is, you know, at least one method must be empty. At least one method must be, you know, at least one method must not be implemented. But here everything is implemented. Just this property has been selected as abstract. You will not be able to instantiate, you know, you will not be able to instantiate this one. However, this is the concept of object oriented. Let's not go more over there. Fine. So DPC extension, MPC extension, all these are uh, uh, all this we understood. But the question comes over here, where to write the logic to get the data from the EKKO table. This is from BBAK table, right? I want to display the sales order information, right? I want to display the sales order information. Here you can see that this is the information about sales order, right? I want to fetch at least one sales order and display. Where to write? This is the question. Where to write? The question for this answer is, you know, you have to define at least one entity set, so that, see, once again I will go to /o AC24 ZCL and then O data class 2. I have just given that name of the project, class 2, and then DPC extension, right? Go into the change mode. Here you can see that we are not having any of the standard one where we can go and write, you know, the code. So what I will do, that I will create one entity set. Okay, so how to create the entity set? Right click over here and click on this create button. So entity set name and entity type name, right? It's a giving this option. So entity type, what is my entity type name? I have given ET underscore sales order, right? This was my entity type name over here. I have defined, and copy this one, paste it over here, and at last just put set. This is the naming convention what we follow. Okay, click on this OK button, Now your ET underscore sales order set, this entity set is now created. Now what will happen, that now the magic will happen. Check the syntax and activate this one, generate this one, regenerate this one. This project must have to regenerate every time. Okay, it got successfully regenerated. And now if you come over here, just to go back and click on this display, here you will see that on top of entity set you are having, create entity, delete entity, get entity set, and update entity, right? This is what is going to be useful for us. So most of the time, 98.99 point, 99% of the time, this is where we are going to write the logic. Okay, 99% point of time, this is where you are going to write the logic. Okay, now you have to get a single record. Okay, you want to get a single entity. So if you want to get the single entity, this is just observe over here, this is just the matter of observation, how you observe. So here 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 you just see here this, if you just see here, you have the entity over here, right? And here if you see that it's the entity set, it's a get entity, and this is the get entity set, right? So set means group of records, entity means single record, and this is the group of records. Okay, so where you are going to write the logic to get the multiple records. If you have to get the multiple records, where you are going to write the logic, can you tell me? If you can tell me over here, if you have to get the multiple records in entity set, right? Very good. Now if you have to get a single records, right? If you have to get the single record, where you can write the logic, here you can write the logic. But one important point over here to be noted. What is that important point? This particular method will be triggered by the system, if you are passing from the URI. So what is URI? I will show you, but at this point of understand, you just uh, at this time, just you understand that we are going to pass a query. We are just going to fire a query, and from query, actually based upon the query, the respective method is going to get triggered. Okay, so in this method you can write a query to pass the single record, but here you will be able to pass the single record based upon the key field. Okay, based upon the key field. So if you are willing to have the single record based upon the key field only, then this is the perfect place where you can write the logic. So let's go and write the logic. Okay, because I just want to get a single record. Okay, so now how to write the logic? What you will have to do, you go into the change mode first. Okay, select where you have to write the logic, and here redefine method, click on this redefine method and come here. You can remove if you want, this not required. And I want to get, I want to pass the single record only. So select single, and what are the fields? What are the fields over there we have defined? That fields you can take it. So I'm just trying to copy all these things, copy together, and So new open SQL, however, without new open SQL also you can write, there is no problem. From what is the table name? BBAK into, this is the ER entity. It's going to have the single record. Okay, copy this one and paste it over here. This is your work area. This is your work area. And because I'm using the new syntax, new open SQL, I'm putting at the rate in beginning. Okay, so now how automatically it has been defined here, you can see that ZCLO data class to MPC TS ET sales order, whatever the field is there inside the entity type, whatever the fields are there inside the entity type, based upon that your ER entity type has been defined. This is the structure, right? So if you just double click on this yes button, go here, and you can see that, right? So you don't have to think, right? Automatically system has defined for you the structure, and based upon that structure your work area has been defined over here. Check the syntax. So here the data type of the component ERDAT is not compatible with the data type of ERDAT. Okay, fine. So here actually we will have to uh, do something, because this select single, here ERDAT is of the date data type at BBAK level, and here we have defined as a string, right? Here we have defined as the string, so it's not taking, it's giving me the error. So what we can do that, what we can do that, locally let's define the structure, or maybe we are already using the new open SQL, so let's use the power of new open SQL, and at the rate of data it underscore so just I'm giving. Okay, so now we can use the move corresponding, or move corresponding is not required over here. This is just ER entity. Copy this, paste it over here, and this is the structure. So let's have the proper naming convention, WA underscore A. So just I'm giving. Okay, copy this and paste it over here. Fine. Check the syntax, and type of W underscore A so cannot be converted to the type of ER underscore type. Why? What's the problem? ER entity, this is type this one. All right, click on this yes button. Let's see what's the wrong. VBLN, this, all this what we have over here, the same we have also used there. Just come once again, come back. Control V, this is the string, right? It looks good over here. Just I'm checking what's going wrong over here, It's telling that conversion is not possible. Let's try with the move corresponding WASO to ER underscore entity. Okay, check the syntax now, and you can see that move corresponding is supporting over here, or maybe you can, okay, just a second. VBLN ERDAT or NGTT BNDTT, this looks good. Okay, so that equals was not supporting, but move corresponding, yeah, because data types are different. Yeah, so here the move corresponding W underscore, this is working fine, right? But if you let's try with this move. You can see that the type of W underscore SO cannot be converted to the type of ER underscore entity. So simply move is not going to simply move is exactly like equal, right? Simply move is exactly like equal, but if you are going to use the move corresponding, what it's going to do that based upon the data type, it will be having its conversion and it will, move the data. And that's why you can see that it's a working over here, right? Activate this one. And now put the external breakpoint over here. Okay. And go here, come here, come here, runtime artifacts, and then the service maintenance. Okay. So now we have implemented this particular method and I want to test it. So what I will do that we will have to register this service. This is one-time activity which we have to perform. Okay. Click on this button and here click on this register. Okay. So system alias will have to choose like where you want to register this service. We are going to discuss more about this system alias. Okay. Click on this OK button. At this point of time, just select the local and local object, and now just save it, check the syntax, and once again regenerate the service. Okay, fine. The service registration is complete. All those things we have done. Double click over here and now go to the SAP gateway client and click on this yes button. From here, you can check it whether your service is going to work or not. Okay, this is the embedded, this is the central hub, this is not the central hub, this is the embedded one. Okay, in this system everything is there. Okay, in system everything is there. So if you want, see, there is a concept called service document, there is a term called service document. Service document, what is the service document? Service document is nothing but service document is nothing but service document is nothing but set of entity set. Set of entity set means group of entity set. Service document will tell you, suppose I have created a project over here, right? So this is a project. So name of the service, external service, if you see the name of the external service, JO data underscore class 2 underscore service. So so the service document will give you all the information about this service. That means in this service, what are the different entity set you have, right? What are the different function import you have, what are the means it will give you like what it contains. The service document will give you the information what it contains. So here you can see that this initial, this is known as URI, request URI. We will be looking more into the URI different parts. Okay, but here at this point of time, this is a complete URI and this is your what technical service name. If you want to see what are the different entity set, function import and all, at this point of time I am having only the single entity set over here. So if you just press enter, you can see that, you can see over here, right? ET sales order is my entity type and ET sales order set is my entity set. This service document only contains two. Okay, so you can put, you can format, this is in XML format. If you want to format in JSON, you can format in JSON, right? So you can see that entity sets, ET sales order set, right? So what are the different types of entity set you are having, it's going to give you the information. And in XML format, if you are seeing over here that the member title ET order, the title type ET order set, here collection href, all these things is coming right here. You might feel a little confusing, but in JSON is very good from the readability point of view. So in JSON format, see here, ET sales order set is coming so nicely, right? It will give you what are the different types of entity sets are there. If we have the multiple entity set, it will give you list of all those entity sets, right? Now my requirement is to get a single record, right? So just click on this entity set, and the entity set, this is my entity set. Okay, this is my entity set. Run, click on this execute button, and you can see that it's telling that not implemented, right? Not implemented. Okay, so why it's telling not implemented though we have implemented, right? See, this is entity set. Actually, if you are going to, pass the URI like this. So what kind of URI we are passing? After the service, we are giving the name of the entity set. This is the name of the entity set, ET underscore sales order set. This is the name of the entity set. This we are passing. If you just press enter, it's telling that I'm not, by default, it's going to display in XML format. Okay, by default. So even if you don't give the format question mark dollar format equal to XML, it's going to display in the XML by default. Okay, so you can see that it's telling not implemented. Why it's telling not implemented though we have implemented? Any idea over here? Any idea? See, the reason behind that is actually here the method which we have implemented is what? ET sales order get entity, right? ET sales order get entity. This is the method we have implemented, right? To get the single records. To get the single records, this is the method we have implemented, right? Now come over here. Even we have put the breakpoint, it's not hitting this one. Why? Because the system is very smart, right? System is understanding you are not trying to get the single records. You are trying to get multiple records, right? How the system will understand you are trying to get the single record or multiple records? Because we are not passing anything from here. So current at this point of time, system is trying to get the multiple records, and to get the multiple records, so where you have to implement the code, you have to implement the code over here. I will show you. Go into the redefine and come over here. Just simply activate this. That error will not come. So now your method is implemented. Though you have not written any code, it's the empty method, but it's implemented actually. It's activated. You can say that it's in active. It's activated. And now if you put the external breakpoint over here, it will stop here. It will not tell that not implemented at least. So click on this execute, and you can see that it is stopping over here. Why? Because it's assuming that you have implemented get entity set method. Okay, and here you can see that there is no error. However, you are not getting any records over here, but there is no error at least, right? Now the question comes, if you have to fire the single record, if you have to get the single record, then how you are going to do? What we'll have to do in the question mark, we'll have to pass the sales order number. Okay, and then what it will do, that it will go and hit that particular implementation, the single record one. Now you can see that for the single record where I have written, now system is understanding what, because I'm passing here the single sales order, it's understanding that it has to go here, and it has to go here and fetch the data. So in the single record here we can get it, and here now I'm getting, and now in ER entity you can get like this, but here the VBLN is this one, right? Press F8, and this is what you are getting, VBLN, this, right? But you now will be telling that here we are passing 1000, and here we are getting this. Why? Can you tell me why? Very simple reason. The code, the way we have written the code, right? If you just go and check what code we have written here, the code we have written the simple, there is no where condition, right? So you'll have to put the where condition, right? Where condition VBELN equals to, and this value, this 1000 we are passing from here, right? This value 1000 we are passing from here. In where condition that we'll have to give. So that 1000 will come in which import parameter. So there can be several parameter actually, which you can use to get for importing parameter. The one which mostly uses this one, IT key tab, and IO request object, and this IO take request. So based upon the different scenario at this point of time, IT key tab we are going to use it. Okay, so keep the full stop and I will show you how the data is going to come, and then I will write the logic over there. Okay, so run this and execute this. So go to the local object and in IT key tab, right? Local object, IT key tab, double click over here and you can see that VBELN and 1000, right? So name and value, name and value. So in the name and value format that is coming, right? Press F8 and now let's go and see. So in what format it was coming? Name and value format. This is the structure of this IT key tab. This is particular name and a value. So how we will do, either you can use the read statement, or what you can do that directly, this is what, this is your internal table, right? And the single record always going to come over here in this at least particular scenario. So you can use a new syntax also to access this one. So IT underscore, I'm just going to use the new syntax, IT underscore key underscore tab, and here the first record just I want to access, and then what we have to access, the value, right? Just value I want to access this one. So declare one variable data lv underscore vbeln, type vbeln, so that the conversion will happen properly, lv underscore vbeln. So first record of this internal table and their value. This is what the new syntax I'm using. Check the syntax now. There is no problem. But in where condition, you'll have to give this, right? LV underscore VBELN. Copy this and come over here and paste it over here. Because this is a new syntax, you will have to give at the rate over here. What is this? This is my ABAP variable. In order to differentiate that this is the ABAP variable at the rate, I'm going to give it over everywhere. Here you can see that also at the rate I have given for ABAP variable. I check the syntax, activate this one, activate. Remove this, put the breakpoint now, and come over here, press enter. Okay, breakpoint, actually you will have to put the external breakpoint, and run once again. Okay, so F6, 1000 is coming, right? You can see that in this 1000, right? And now select single, size of RC is 4, right? This value is actually not there, that's why it's a not coming. So you'll have to take a value which is present over there in the VBAK table. So let's go into the VBAK table, run this, and these are the value which is present over there. Take any of the value from here. I'm just going to copy some value. Okay, and I will just keep for my reference over here. So any of the value, copy this and paste it over here now and run this. And this time you will see that LV underscore VBLN is this one which I have copied, and F6 size of RC is 0. That means this time you got the value, right? And this is the value you are getting this time, and the same value it will take it over here, right? So now this data you can expose through this URI from UI5 and Fury. Actually, you can call the data and your data will go to the front end. Okay, here we are just learning the O data part, so here we are concerned. If you want to just convert into JSON format, what you are going to do, question mark. So whenever you are going to write any query will have to start after the entity set. Okay, any query you have to start after the entity set. So what you are going to do first, you are going to give question mark. What you are going to do, question mark, question mark. Every time the very first query is going to start with question mark, and then dollar, question mark and dollar. Remember this concept, question mark and dollar. And what you have, the format equals to JSON. Press enter and press F8, and you can see that now it's coming into the JSON format, right? So the first service implementation, we have, the first to get the single record we have seen. Similarly, we are going to see how to get the multiple records. Okay, this we will see in tomorrow class, how to get the multiple records. Also, suppose if you want to practice, I'm going to share one very good stuff over here. Let me share with you. So once you see my browser, just let me know. Okay, so even if you don't have, even if you don't have the server access, you can practice over here. Okay, so what you will have to do, SAP ES server, where you have to go, SAP ES server, right? And SAP ES server for,
We can't see, like we are seeing your PPT.
okay, you are not able to see my, okay, so just go into the Google, now you are able to see, right?
Yes.
Okay, so SAP ES server gateway demo, just you type like this, SAP ES server for gateway demo. So SAP has given a server for practicing purpose, so click on this, it will give you all the information, and very simple. Actually, you don't have to bother much, just click on this. If you have already account in www.sap.com, then there is no problem, and also on SCP also you need to have on SAP cloud platform. So just click on this, simply just you'll have to click over there, and everything automatically, if it will not be there, it will ask you to create and all. So the first step you will do, and remaining thing will be automatically done. I already have created, so I'm just clicking on this logon, and now it's authenticating me, right? And it's telling that account exists, right? But I don't remember my password, so I'm going to reset the password, and it's telling please check your email for new temporary password. Okay, so I have to check my email. Let me check. Just give me a second. So I'm going to actually delete the account. I'm not getting the password. So see here, I'm deleting my account, and once again I will create the account quickly, account deleted. And just come over here and click on this gateway registration, and I've read on the understood whatever it is written over here, and show password. This is my password. And now here, SAP gateway web GUI, click on this and paste it. this password and click on this logon. So it's asking me to, change the password. Must be changed. Just I'm giving some password. Okay. Give the current password, then the new password. So the password is now changed. Click on this. And here you can see that it's, opened. Now how you can learn it from here? So you can learn it from here. Very simple. Go to SEGW transaction. And here SAP has given so many projects already. One of the project to practice GW sample underscore basic. This is the project. Click on this. Okay. Okay. GW sample. It's telling it does not exist. Why? Give the star over here. This was there. Maybe some name I'm not writing correctly. No values found. Okay, remove this. Just let's search with the basic. Nothing is coming, no issue, no problem. But here, here this is one very good way. From here we can, go and practice directly. Let me put the URL over here. So till SAP, then here slash SAP, then OPU, put in a small O data. Yeah, this is the URI. Already I have tested this one, right? Let me run this once again and see here. This is the project actually. GW sample underscore basic. What I was writing. Let me check once again what I was writing over there. So I want to log in into this once again. SEGW control V. I don't know why it's not showing here. I think it is having some backend kind of stuff, because IWBEP, right? So GW sample underscore basic. Here it's coming. So you can see that the service document, what you have over here, right? These are the service document. These are the service document for GW sample underscore basic, right? So what are the different entity set you have? See here, the business partner set, product set, right? Sales order set, right? I have just enlarged so that you can see properly, right? Now, one thing, here just I want to see this one in a better format, right? So question mark dollar already coming over here, question mark dollar format equals to JSON, so that readability will be improved, right? And here you can see that now the different entity set we are having, right? So entity set, this one, the 16 items it is having. What are the different entity set? This one, product set, sales order set, sales order line item set. These are the different already it is given, right? Now if you want to see what are the different business partner it is having, right? So copy this and just paste it over here and press enter. All the different partner information it is coming. Okay, all the different partner information, you can see the address, right? Then you are having the business partner type, company name, and all this information. So there are several business partner actually, right? There are several business partner, and for all those the information is coming over here, right? So this is a one single business partner. Then the next one you are having this one, right? This is the navigation property. Okay, we are going to see that one. So why I'm showing this one, suppose if you don't have the server access, right? This is where you can go and practice for at least this URI, how we are going to do this one. Suppose if you want to get only these business partner ID, right? The first, this business partner ID you want to get. So what you can do, because this is a key, I believe in that. So if it is a key, what we have seen in the single quotes, just we'll have to put and press enter. It will give you the information about the single record only. You can see that the single business partner now only it's coming. The extra things, to contact, this is the navigation property. That means what's the meaning of this? I will tell you. For this business partner, for this business partner, this is the address. Okay, for this business partner, this is the address. Then other information, if you want to see it, the company name SAP, this is nothing but the SAP. The web address is this one, email address is this. So like that you are having this all information about the single record. All right, so just go and practice whatever I have discussed now, because this URI is important. Once you are having the good command over this URI, 50% work is done. Okay, generally people gets confused with the URI. So if you have this, you can directly search with the, if you want to see the entity set, if you want to uh, get a single record access. So at least these two just practice for today's example. Okay, so this is the exercise. So your exercise has been started now. No, register register for ES server, register for ES server on SAP for get for SAP gateway demo, and practice, for getting the single record and multiple record. There are so many entity, you can choose any one of the entity. Okay, just do some, you just play around that. And if you have the server access, whatever we have discussed in today's class, just go and do that one. Okay, if you have any question, just feel free to ask any question if you have. Yeah, there are many restrictions, but at least you can have some practice. You can do some of the practice over here, whatever it is feasible. So this is the free one, and this is the free one. So whatever it's providing, we can do it. So any question from anyone over here? Ashwarya, Fred, Lokesh, Millie, Siva, feel free to discuss if you have any question or anything if you want to discuss. No question, right? Fine then. Let's meet tomorrow. Thank you. Bye bye.